So before we dive into this chapter, let's get a quick idea of what's happening and who's who. The royal family is staying at Winterfell, the home of the Stark family in the north. They're here because King Robert wants to make Eddard Stark his new Hand of the King. But things have taken a dark turn. Young Bran Stark, one of Ned's sons, mysteriously fell from a tower and is now lying in a coma, barely hanging on to life. This chapter is from the point of view of Tyrion Lannister, the witty and sharp-tongued dwarf brother of Cersei, the Queen, and Jaime, the King's bodyguard. He's often underestimated because of his size, but trust me, Tyrion sees everything. Early morning at Winterfell, while the castle is still wrapped in shadows and frost, a wolf howls somewhere deep in the stone walls. That sound hangs over the castle like a sign of death. Tyrion Lannister hears it from the warm library and shivers, not from the cold, but because that sound messes with your head. It drags you out of reality and dumps you into some dark mental forest. He's been up all night, as usual, reading ancient books. As the sun starts to sneak through the high windows and his oil lamp flickers out, Tyrion yawns, shuts his book, and stretches his stiff legs. His short, twisted frame makes moving a bit of a task, but he's used to it. Nearby, a young septon named Chael is asleep on a book. Tyrion wakes him up gently, tells him to handle the valuable scrolls carefully, and then steps out into the cold Winterfell morning. As he walks down the winding tower steps, he overhears a cruel conversation in the yard below. Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, says, "The boy is a long time dying. I wish he would be quicker about it." That boy is Bran Stark. Tyrion looks down and sees Joffrey Baratheon, the prince, replying coldly, "At least he dies quietly. It's the wolf that makes the noise. I could scarce sleep last night." Sandor offers to kill the direwolf, saying he could silence the creature if the prince wishes. Joffrey, enjoying the idea way too much, laughs and says, "Send a dog to kill a dog." He mocks the Starks, saying they wouldn't even notice one wolf missing. At that point, Tyrion steps into the scene and shuts it down with a sarcastic jab. The Starks can count past 6, unlike some princes I might name. Boom. Joffrey blushes in embarrassment. The Hound makes a little act of pretending not to see Tyrion because of his size and jokes about spirits of the air. Joffrey laughs, but Tyrion is not in the mood. He gets serious and tells Joffrey to go visit Lord and Lady Stark, give his sympathies and show some respect. But Joffrey brushes it off like it's beneath him. Tyrion slaps him hard. Joffrey protests. "I'm going to tell Mother." Tyrion slaps him again. "You do that," he says, "but first you go kneel to Lord and Lady Stark, tell them how sorry you are, and offer to help in any way you can. Do you understand me?" Joffrey's eyes fill with tears, but he just nods and runs off holding his red cheek. Then Sandor Clegane steps forward, towering over Tyrion in his scary black armor. His helmet, shaped like a snarling hound, hides his burned face. He warns Tyrion, "The prince will remember that." Tyrion doesn't flinch. "I pray he does," he says coolly. "And if he forgets, be a good dog and remind him." Then he asks where Jaime is. Sandor tells him he's having breakfast with the Queen. Tyrion heads to the guest house, where Jaime and Cersei are sitting with the kids, Tommen and Myrcella quietly eating breakfast. He joins them uninvited and asks if the king is still asleep. Cersei gives him her usual look of disgust and tells him Robert hasn't slept. He's mourning with Ned Stark. Jaime, ever the joker, says Robert has a big heart. Tyrion appreciates his brother's casual attitude. Jaime was one of the only people in his life who ever treated him kindly. Tyrion orders a simple breakfast: bread, beer, some small fish, and burnt bacon. As he eats, he watches his golden-haired twin siblings, Cersei and Jaime, dressed in matching green, like a pair of arrogant royals. Tommen, the younger prince, nervously asks about Bran's condition. Tyrion says nothing has changed, but the maester sees that as a hopeful sign. Tommen says he doesn't want Bran to die, showing a rare bit of kindness that his older brother clearly lacks. Then, Jaime makes a dark comment about how the name Brandon seems cursed, referring to Brandon Stark, Ned's brother who was killed by the Mad King. Cersei seems tense, and when Tyrion casually mentions that Bran might survive, she and Jaime exchange a quick, nervous glance. Tyrion notices it immediately. She tries to downplay it, calling it no mercy, and saying the gods are cruel for letting Bran suffer. Jaime asks what the maester actually said. Tyrion replies that if Bran were going to die, he would have died already. It's been 4 days, and he's still holding on. Marcella, sweet and innocent, asks if Bran will get better. Tyrion explains the harsh truth. His back is broken, his legs shattered, and they're keeping him alive on honey water. If he wakes, maybe he can eat, but he'll never walk again. Cersei grimly asks if he will wake. Tyrion shrugs. It's up to the gods. But then he says something interesting. It seems like Bran's direwolf is keeping him alive. The wolf never leaves his window. When they closed the window to shut the howling out, Bran's heart got weaker. When they opened it, he got stronger. Cersei is creeped out. There's something unnatural about those animals, she says. They are dangerous. I won't have them coming south with us. Jaime says it won't be easy. The wolves follow the Stark girls everywhere. Then, Tyrion casually asks if the Queen is leaving soon. Cersei gets annoyed and says, "What about you? Don't tell me you're staying." Tyrion smirks. He says he wants to travel north with Benjen Stark and Jon Snow to see the Wall. He's not taking the Black or becoming a brother of the Night's Watch. He just wants to stand on top of the Wall and piss off the edge of the world. Classic Tyrion. Cersei gets disgusted and storms off with the kids. Now only Tyrion and Jaime are left. Jaime says Ned Stark won't leave Winterfell while Bran is dying. Tyrion says he will, if Robert commands it. And Robert will. There's nothing more Ned can do for Bran anyway. Jaime suggests something darker. He could end the boy's torment. I would. It would be mercy. Tyrion warns him not to say that to Ned Stark. He won't take it kindly. Then Jaime says even if Bran lives, he'll be a cripple, a grotesque. He says he'd rather have a clean death. Tyrion replies with a cold shrug, embracing his own deformity. Speaking for the grotesques, he says, I beg to differ. Death is so terribly final, while life is full of possibilities. Jaime laughs. You're a perverse little imp, aren't you? Tyrion grins and says, Oh yes. I hope the boy does wake. I'd be very interested to hear what he has to say. And just like that, Jaime's mood shifts. His smile fades. He looks at Tyrion seriously and says, There are times when you give me cause to wonder whose side you're on. Tyrion just keeps eating, washes down his food with a swig of beer, and flashes a sharp grin. Why, Jaime, my sweet brother, he says, you wound me. You know how much I love my family. So, this was in this chapter. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss the next chapter. And hey, if you haven't seen the previous ones, go and check them out now.